Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to our first membership luncheon of the year. It's the State of the City. I'm going to see if I can get off the stage as fast as possible so you can hear the person that you're here to hear. So, at this time, I'd like to ask Ann Scoggin to come to the podium and offer an invocation.
It's great to see all of you. This is wonderful. Please stand and join me in prayer. Father, we come before you with grateful hearts. You've blessed us in so many ways. Thank you for your mercy and your grace, your kindness. Every good and perfect gift comes from you. Thank you for the way that you bless Southeast Texas with our business and all the benefits that we have here. I especially want to thank you for our mayor, Becky Ames, and for Rodney, who's been in her side all these years. Thank you for the job that she's done. Thank you for her heart that she has poured into leading our city. I pray that you would just bless them as they go into a new era of their lives. And Lord, I do thank you for our city management, for all the staff that's here today. I just thank you for all the work that's done. And thank you for this food and the blessing of being together. It's in your name I pray. Amen.
Why don't you all remain standing? I tried to get up here faster. My apologies. But I'd really like you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. And we have a fantastic group of flags here, but an even more beautiful flag flying out there over the pond. So why don't we turn around and face that flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now you can be seated. Thank you, Ann, for that fantastic invocation. So, as you can imagine, we've got a lot of elected officials here with us today, and I want to make sure I recognize them accordingly. We have Blake Hopper representing Congressman Weber's office. We have Cole Mitchell representing Senator Creighton's office. Obviously, we have Mayor Ames with us, but we have a number of city council: W.L. Pate, Randy Felshaw, Taylor Neal, Mike Getz, and Robin Mouton. Thank you all for being here. We also have City Manager Kyle Hayes, City Attorney Tyrone Cooper, and Fire Chief Earl White. We have from the county, Vernon Pierce. From the Sabine Neches Navigation District, Sherry Arnold. We have Judge Mitch Templeton. Port of Beaumont Director, Chris Fisher. BISD Superintendent, Dr. Shannon Allen. We have BISD board members, Denise Wallace-Spooner and Thomas Segee, and also Robert Dunn and Tilly Hickman. How about a round of applause for all those folks taking some time out of their schedule? So, before I relinquish the stage to the mayor, we have to say thanks to all those that support us in our endeavors. And we have several annual sponsors for our 6 membership luncheons, and we truly appreciate their support. Our title sponsor for all of these luncheons this year is Common Sense Credit Union. And I'd like to invite Tish Cornell, Marketing Specialist, to the stage to say a few words.
Hi everyone, happy Thursday. It was so nice to see a room full of people without masks saying the pledge together. We haven't done that in a while, so that just felt really nice. I had to say that. We are delighted to be here today as the title sponsor, as always. We are grateful to belong to and partner with the Greater Beaumont Chamber of Commerce. Something that I'm asked often as the marketer for Common Sense, aside from, that's a cute name, where are y'all? Is what is the difference between a bank and a credit union? And the simplest answer I can give is people over profit. Credit unions are not for profit. So rather than being owned by a corporation, we are owned by our members. Our board of directors are volunteers, so we are led by member owners rather than paid officials. The profits that are gained are then returned to members in forms of better rates, low or no fees, or new products that just make life easier. The difference that drives me about what Common Sense actively works to achieve every day is service. Everyone wants that communicative service where you feel like you're a part of something, the one-on-one, cheers, everybody knows your name service. And we want our members to feel that way. We want our members to feel like they're part of us, because they are. Not only does exceptional service in every industry show your members and your customers that you truly value them, but it also instills hope. Whether it's hope for a new auto, hope for a better education, hope for financial stability, hope for kindness, hope for someone understanding your situation, or just hope to be heard. And at Common Sense, we hear you. Thank you again for being here today to listen to what Becky Ames has to say about our beautiful city. We hope you enjoy your lunch and hearing from all of us today. Thank you.
Thanks, Tish, and thanks to Common Sense for being an annual sponsor for us. Let me go through some of our other big supporters, if I could. Our silver sponsor today is Hancock Whitney. Thank you very much. And we have a number of series sponsors, again this year. I'd like to read them all off. American Air Systems, American Valve and Hydrant, Christus Southeast Texas Health System, Entergy Texas, Function 4, G&G Enterprises Construction Corporation, Gulf Coast Materials, a CRH company, Lamar Institute of Technology, and the Port of Beaumont. Round of applause for those folks, please. In addition, we have some table sponsors for today's event: Coldwell Banker Commercial, Arnold and Associates, ExxonMobil, Lamar University, Pate Services, and Regina Rogers, another great group of supporters. Couple things that I want to also point out. Right over there, we've got a photo booth, and there's a great opportunity, obviously, for y'all to take some pictures after this event. And that booth is sponsored by JK Chevrolet Subaru this year. One more round of applause for all of our sponsors, please. So let me get ready to get off the stage, Becky, but I got to tell you a little bit about the mayor. So it's an honor to introduce her, obviously. Mayor Ames was sworn in as Beaumont's 41st mayor, Beaumont's longest-serving mayor, on May 22nd, 2007. Since her initial election, she has been subsequently reelected to 6 additional 2-year terms. And that's after serving as at-large council member from 1994 to 2007. You've had a really long run, haven't you? The projects that she's especially proud of consist of this place that we're at right here, the Event Center, Town Lake, and the adjacent Lakeside Center. The Town Lake, it's just the adjoining downtown areas shined in February of last year with a partnership that brought Mardi Gras into Beaumont, and that's just fantastic. In addition, Beaumont's seen multiple new neighborhood community centers, fire stations, libraries, a public health facility, state-of-the-art tennis court, 2 hike and bike trails, along with an Amtrak station that includes a police substation, all done under her leadership. While serving as mayor, and perhaps her most significant contributions, and I think it's sad that you have to have these as your great contributions, because we struggle all the time, but it's all of the storms that she's led us through. Gustav, Ike, Harvey, most recently, Imelda, Laura, and then the winter freeze. I think that's plenty, isn't it? Each storm, obviously, has posed unique set of challenges, and her leadership got us through that. During Hurricane Harvey, Mayor Ames maintained open lines of communication to deliver critical information to citizens during the major flooding and the loss of water service. And Mayor Ames has also been instrumental in changing the former Beaumont City Pound to animal care shelter, and with the support of City Council, altered the animal care ordinances to include spay, neuter, and chip, with every adoption, along with a myriad of other changes that support the well-being of the animals at the shelter. Those efforts recently led to Beaumont becoming a no-kill city. In December of 2018, Mayor Ames secured a grant totaling $7,500 in November of 2020 to support the city's maintenance of that no-kill status. Just this month, the mayor received the first ever Lifetime Achievement Award from the Beaumont Animal Care for her continued support of the organization. I know that's super important to you. In October of 2020, Mayor Ames was appointed to the task force on disaster issues affecting persons who are elderly and persons with disabilities. Due to her extensive background in the healthcare sector as well, and handling several natural disasters as her tenure as mayor. In November of last year, Mayor Ames established a homeless coalition in the city to address the needs of the homeless population in Beaumont. I have to do this because this is my last chance, but I know when you all turned around and looked at the flag, you realized it's a Chamber of Commerce Day before you got to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Becky Ames.
Thank y'all so much. It's another great day in Beaumont. So glad y'all are here. There is quite a lot of Beaumont paraphernalia on your tables. Please take it because it'll be outdated very soon, especially the one that has my name on it. But it might be worth something on eBay someday, so you might want to take those with you. I thank all of you for coming. It really is another great day in Beaumont. It's been hard to say that over the last year because of what we've been through, but I really feel it today. So I want to thank y'all for that. And, you know, a lot of people say there's nothing to do in Beaumont. I disagree. And I'd like to prove them wrong.
Did you know that triangles are the strongest shape? The name the Golden Triangle isn't a fluke. It may have come from oil, but we're rich in resources, in history, nature, culture, community, people, and you. You are our greatest resource. It's time for the Golden Triangle to stand strong, come together and rise up, to shed our burdens and be proud. Proud of where we live and what we've accomplished. Not just now, but the countless times we've been tested and overcome. It's time to reflect on the restless, relentless spirit that bonds us all. When it's time to shake this off and get back to everyday life, re-emerge with fresh eyes. Many things will have changed, and one of those should be your perspective. Become a local expert. Explore our backyard. Be grateful for what's here right now. Because when it's all said and done, we'll need you more than ever. We need you to be our advocates, our cheerleaders, and our ambassadors. By advocating for your city, you're advocating for all of us.
The triangle represents our 3 points of pride, our Texan roots, that Southern hospitality, and a Cajun culture that shows our undeniable zest for life. What they say is true. Everything is bigger in Texas, from the portion sizes to the heart of each person you cross paths with. Lone Star pride runs deep with every bite. Texas friendly means something here. It's forging connections. It's patient. It's not goodbye, but see you later. Your family as soon as you step through the door. And like family, we like to let loose from time to time, because after this, we think we all deserve a drink or two, because hospitality is the true spirit of our city, and we can't wait to welcome you with open arms. Beaumont, Texas friendly, Bayou fun.
Wow. That's where we live, guys. I'm so proud to be here today, and I'm having to work some audio-visual stuff up here, so I apologize in advance if I mess it up, but everybody that knows me, I'm not even really good at a copy machine, so I just want to let y'all know how much I appreciate you. And Dean's smiling back there. He knows I'm not good with a copy machine. I worked with him. There's a lot to cover in a very short period of time. I want to touch on just about everything, and there's some things that you may not know about. And I actually tried to look at things that I thought might be interesting to you, but also that might be new to you. And I believe our city has come a very long way, especially in the last 10 to 15 years. If you look behind you, I wish we could do more downtown, and I hope that future councils do that. But sometimes we're our own worst enemies. We really should think about what we have as what we just saw. We should enjoy it, and we should make sure that we brag about it, because if we don't, nobody else will. Especially after coming out of a national pandemic. I will go through some items now that I think may be of interest to you, and I'll show you what we have accomplished, what we're doing, and the groundwork that we have laid for future organization, our council members, staff members, and not focusing on individuals, but focusing on the team that we put together that does a great job. And I want to make sure the council members got introduced earlier, but we've got a bunch of directors, staff members that are here today, and I would not be standing here without them right now. And I'm going to tell you, I've made friendships that will last a lifetime. And my hat goes off. If y'all, the staff members of the city of Beaumont that are here, regardless what you do, fire, police, EMS, directors, please stand up. Thank you. I put them against anyone, and I know a lot of mayors, and I'm going to tell you, I would put them against anyone. So thank y'all so much for what you do each and every day. Our city does remain, even after a pandemic, in excellent financial condition. We've been through multiple weather events, a national pandemic, a freeze, a water event. I could go on and on and on, but we still stand strong with our financials. And I think that's important to any city, and not every city can say that. Our revenues, but we have a $288 million budget across all funds. And city accounting is different than what you might be used to in your business, because I've done both. And so when I say across all funds, we have different funds that pay for different things. But today we're going to be talking mostly, not completely, but mostly about the general fund, because it is the largest fund at $132 million, with water and sewer close behind at 53.5 million, and solid waste at 12.6. Sales tax does remain our largest revenue source at 32.2%. Property taxes at 30.6%, and industrial payments at 14%. Our fiscal year is October through September, and our budget is prepared very soon in July and August, and it's adopted in September. Currently, we have an extremely healthy fund balance at $46 million. You might think that's a lot, but thank goodness we've been in good financial shape for all these years when we've had to go through all these disasters, because we are still trying to get money from Ike and a lot from Harvey. So if you can't bring yourself back, you can't depend on someone else. You have to depend on us. Our expenditures by department, public safety is by far the highest, as it very well should be. Beaumont Police Department is at 31.5% of our expenditures, which is about $41.5 million. And that's of the $132 million general fund that I talked about earlier. And the fire department at 22.7%, which is almost $30 million. EMS recently, in January, was moved from public health to Beaumont Fire Department in January as an effort to streamline services and have one chain of command. our infrastructure. Everyone talks about infrastructure. This is just a beautiful photograph of the renovated Terrell Historical Library. Look at the clouds, that's kind of how it looks today. For this purpose, though, infrastructure is going to include streets, water, and sewer, as many say need to be addressed. Let me tell you more about how we are addressing these items. Also about cost. Just like our budget at home, we have to live within our means. And that's what we have always tried to do. With our CFO is here, Todd Semino, and our city manager is very involved in the financial as well, very. And we remain in great condition. Street rehabilitation projects. All street projects do not come from the same funding source. We talked about the different funds. We have funding through bonds, which you would think of as more or less a loan, capital improvement, which is our capital improvement plan that this council approves every year. We did have great oil and gas revenue that we were able to spend on some major streets that we would not have been able to do otherwise. And that was at the municipal airport in around 2010, and grant funded. Our street improvement fund to date this year has been $603,000. The total for the last 3 years, I tried to compare 3 years, is $8,918,000, so almost $9 million. That's the street improvement fund. The street rehab fund to date this year, 1.1, almost 1.15, and from 18 to present, $13 million, almost 14. Airport royalty fund to date this year, 1.8. Total from 2018 to present, 1.7. So there are different types of streets: neighborhood, arterial, and major. These are just some photographs of just a few random streets that we chose just to show what we're doing in our neighborhoods. Most of these are asphalt overlay. Helbig Road asphalt resurfacing project. I brought this up because we're talking about different funding sources. Everyone thinks everything comes from the same pot of money. It really doesn't. This funding source was from the capital program and the street rehabilitation program. This street is actually 100% complete. The project is expected to go to the city council for final acceptance this next month in early May. Then, of course, I want to talk a little bit about Hurricane Harvey. It seems hard to find a silver lining, but Harvey actually did present us with funding source that we would not have realized otherwise. So try to find a silver lining in everything that we do, and there are some things that I'm going to talk about today that absolutely would not be possible without the Harvey funding. 6 projects were submitted to the Federal Highway Administration for emergency relief funding for damages caused by Hurricane Harvey were completed in 2020. And you can see the 6 projects listed here. The total spent was $2.5 million, rounded up. 80% was the Federal Highway Administration, which was the Harvey program, and FEMA, and the remaining 20% from the capital program. So this would be somewhat considered a grant, but we always have a match, so we have to have money to meet that match if these type projects or these type grant programs present themselves. Here's some of those. Then, of course, the street projects paid by the oil and gas revenues. The city of Beaumont realized approximately $54 million in oil and gas revenue that was found at the municipal airport. There was a federal law in place at the time that prevented cities from using any monies derived from an airport other than at the airport. That was because larger cities that had airports, not like our municipal airport, were using those funds sometimes for just their regular general fund. And so that's why that law was put in place. They said we could never do it, but we did, and we got the majority of those monies released as long as we spent them on transportation and we put them into streets. Getting off script, I do that a lot. We were required to leave some of that money, so we ended up with almost $48 million that we could spend on streets out of that $54 million. The rest stayed in the airport fund, and as you can see, our airport, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, is beautiful, and it just looks really nice. Have a lot of great events there, too. The biggest one was Washington Boulevard. The funding source, of course, was the oil and gas, as I talked about. It's approximately 85% complete. The estimated completion date is August of this year, and the overall project costs $33 million. Others funded by the oil and gas fine, 7th Street, and the new Northwest Parkway. And on another note, just talking about streets, as I was thinking about this, you've seen the Dallin overlay. That was a federal earmark from 2008, and we would lose it if we had to do something with it. There was certain stipulations in it, and we did that. And that's the Dallin overlay and sidewalks. And then that was in 2008. Another note that I think people are interested in, we all talk about how we'd like to have sidewalks everywhere. I'd love to have sidewalks everywhere. But one thing that we have done in the last few years, the council, is that we have put something in place where developers put in a new development, whether it be commercial or residential, that they have to put in sidewalks. That's why every once in a while you might see on Dallin Road a new building and it has a sidewalk going to nowhere. Well, the next building that's beside it is going to take it up from there. And that's how we're going to be able to fund sidewalks, because we can't do it all by ourselves. There's Northwest Parkway, and there's 7th Street. A lot of questions about Riverfront Park, and actually, I'm going to go into quite a lot of detail on this because we do have a lot of citizens that are very interested. Of course, Riverfront Park was devastated by Hurricane Harvey, which was the most costly tropical cyclone on record anywhere. Estimated at $47.2 million in damage was to bring our Riverfront Park back to its original condition. $27 million to leave it where it sits, but to renovate it and bring it back to where we can use it. The council decided the best thing to do was not to try to go out with it at the $47 million, but to spend the $27 million and use the rest of that money somewhere else. The approximate balance for the $20 million, I'm going to talk about in a little bit, is going to be used in our water system. I hope it's going to be used in our water system, future councils. I'm used to being the one, right? Hurricane Harvey. And this is Lanier Engineering is the company that we are working with to bring the Riverfront Park back, but you can see what that looks like. It's pretty devastating. They are about 95% complete with the drawings, specifications, and contract documents. The biggest holdup on finalizing the plans, it's not us, I promise. And the bidding out the project is final review and approval from the Corps of Engineers and the Texas General Land Office. There are a few approvals and permits Lanier is still working on and obtaining from USACE, which is, that's the Corps of Engineers, and Texas GLO. And they expect this to take 6+ months from now. That's what we hope. Assuming the 6 months for the projected, assuming that the final approval and permits for the projected 6 months could potentially bid out at the beginning of 2022 and to be completed in the first quarter of 2023. The construction is estimated to take 12 to 16 months. So you can see the flooding, and then on the right, I'm sorry, I'm going to switch to that so you can see it better. Before Harvey, after Harvey, and the proposed restoration at $27 million, funding source FEMA 90%, so the city matches 10. If you watch this video, it's going to show you a 3D rendering of Riverfront Park and as we develop it. This was given to us by Lanier. I think it's really cool. As you can see, the dock goes out over the water. And you can see the protection that we will have for the future. And it goes all the way down. This is exciting. These are the kind of things that I love to do as your mayor. So those of you who have been in office when I'm gone, this is going to be a great project. Our water system. If we stay the course, we're going to have a great water system. But I want to say we couldn't do it as we sit now. The proposed West End Water Plant, proposed Collier Ferry or the Pine Street Pumping Station, it's being called two different things, Collier Ferry and Pine, same one. Majority of council voted to do this and propose Pine Street transmission line. Some people say, why not sooner? Due to costs, we were unable to do this financially. We would not be able to do this financially. Harvey emergency funding. Here we are again with Harvey emergency funding. If there is a silver lining again, for instance, the West End Water Plant is estimated at $100 million. That's just that one aspect. These three projects work together to bring our water system where we believe it should be. Before Harvey, we didn't know a lot of the things that we're dealing with today. All of these grants were not available, I'm going to say it again, before Hurricane Harvey. They became available due to Hurricane Harvey. Collier's Ferry Raw Water Pump Station. A new 45 MGD, which is million gallon per day, pump station would be constructed near Pine Street in Collier's Ferry Park. A new pump station is necessary in order to have a more resilient raw water source from the Neches River. The Lawson Pump Station, which is the one that was covered in water, as well as the Loeb Pump Station in Hardin County that was also out of commission, they both failed during Hurricane Harvey due to flooding. This new pump station would be constructed on higher ground and serve as the city's main pump station for raw water. That's the Pine Street Collier Ferry. The estimated cost of this project, construction, engineering, and special services, is $22,500,000. The city is working to secure funding and approval from FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, to pay for most of this project. This FEMA money is available due to Harvey. It does give us some redundancy. I believe redundancy is important, because if you fail, you have something to fall back on. If you remember, the Loeb in Hardin County is a groundwater. It's for groundwater, where the Lawson comes out of the river. It's difficult, and I won't go into the techniques of it, but the engineers tell me that it's difficult to mix those two types of water. We have to do a lot to prepare for that. And so we really need to bring it all to one type system. This will help us to do that. Pine Street Raw Water Delivery Line. This all goes into conjunction together. A new raw water line will need to be constructed from the proposed Collier Ferry Pump Station, which is Pine Street, to the water production plant located on Pine Street near Interstate 10. That's basically behind where the Lawson is, closer to Pine Street. The estimated cost of this project, construction and engineering, is $16 million. The city has applied again for federal funding in the amount of $10 million, almost $10 million, to be used toward the cost of this project. Water revenue bonds will pay for the project if the federal funds are not approved. We want to move forward with this one anyway, and that will make up any difference between federal funds that may be provided and the total project cost. But these three components work together to bring our water system into one type of system. And also, I don't want to go through Harvey again. I don't think y'all do. If something like that were to happen again, we would have some redundancy. I really believe that's important, and I say that over and over because whoever comes after me, I hope will keep this going, because I think this is just critical. Sewer rehabilitation. We have $5 to $6 million budgeted every year moving forward, hopefully, in sewer pipe bursting projects. And I had to ask, to me, pipe bursting means we're tearing it up. Well, we kind of are, but we're putting in new. And pipe bursting projects are going on all over the city as we speak, and have been for several months, maybe even a year or two. So we want to go forward with that for our sewer rehabilitation. We have had 15 sewer and wastewater treatment plant projects in 2020, this last year. That's more than we've ever had. We have 77 lift stations in place. 2 photos to the side are from rehabilitation of our wastewater treatment plant assets. And we're working on the chlorine contact chamber, trickling filter, all these things that we don't see, but they're happening. Public safety. Can't do without our fire, police, EMS, and emergency management. And we sure couldn't in these last few years. And my hat goes off to all of them. We've been successful overcoming these disasters with very, very, very little loss of life because of these people. And so I thank them so much. Beaumont Police Department, Beaumont Fire Department, EMS, Emergency Management. Police budget is the largest at 31.5% of the general fund, as I mentioned earlier, which equates to approximately $41.5 million. I think it's important to note that most violent crimes in Beaumont are people that know each other, that are mostly domestic or drug-related. Overall crime was reported down 4% for 2020. Property crime reduced by 11 in 2020. And let me say something about that. Our CID unit, which is criminal investigations, I don't know the percentage off my head, but their percentage is very, very high at closing these cases. And I appreciate that so much because it makes everyone feel a whole lot better when we can catch the criminals. We modified existing community programs due to the pandemic, but we're able to maintain Cops and Kids, Trunk or Treat, Citizens Police Academy, the virtual neighborhood associations, and Blue Santa. And please feel free to pick up one of these brochures at the police department table, or I'm not sure where they are, but they're here somewhere. Oh, there they are. And right over here. And read about all the things that we're doing, because I bet you would be surprised at how many things they were doing. And then, of course, at the bottom in the middle, we did have a loss of life in our police department this last year. Sheena Yarbrough-Powell. And I'm going to tell you, as the mayor, that's one of the hardest things you'll ever have to do, whoever does win, is get a phone call in the middle of the night and find out one of your first responders went down in the line of duty. I'm sorry. Okay, so Beaumont Fire Rescue and Emergency Medical Services, EMS. As of January 2021, as I mentioned earlier, Beaumont Emergency Services, EMS, which has been a branch of the Beaumont Public Health Department, is now part of Beaumont Fire and Rescue. EMS Med Unit 4 was relocated to Fire EMS Station Number 6, located at 1880 South Major Drive. With the merger, we have been able to increase the number of med units in service for emergency response, and that's always important. And in addition to that, it will much more streamline our EMS services in that already we have fire department personnel on our ambulances since this merger, and we will continue to do that, and at some point in the future, that gap will close and they'll all be cross-trained is the goal, and I hope that we achieve that goal. I think that we probably will, because EMS and our fire department are very committed to this project. Chief White is here. Award-winning Chief White. In 2020, for Beaumont Fire was a game of intestinal fortitude. COVID-19 placed heavy strain on our first responders, as I mentioned earlier, as well as our families in our city for most of the year. Amidst the pandemic, we dealt with 3 prospective hurricanes, Cristobal, Marco, and Laura. Entrance exams were scheduled and administered as soon as allowable, and we received a new hazmat command vehicle from ExxonMobil, and you can see it out there. When you leave, please take a look. The City Council also authorized this past year 9 new firefighter positions. That was part of the merger between EMS and Fire. We have the new hazmat command vehicle as well as one of our fire engines here today, if you would like to take some time after the presentation to take a look. I'm talking off my head, then I'm reading, and so y'all are hearing it twice, so you won't forget. EMS responded to 19,224 calls for service in 2020, and the city has 5 to 7 frontline ambulances running each day. And you can see some of the equipment there. And you can see them suited up for COVID. Emergency management and operations. As the mayor of the city of Beaumont, I am appointed by the city charter to serve as the emergency management director. I do appoint, or the new mayor will, the emergency operations coordinator, which right now is Captain Tim Oknichek. And I can't say enough good things about Tim. He is very committed. I have to make him go to sleep when we're staying in the EOC. I mean, he won't leave his post, and it makes us all tired and makes us feel bad because we're not working as hard as him. I'm also newly appointed member of Governor Abbott's 9-member emergency management task force for the elderly and disabled, and I will remain in this position after I leave office. Emergency management has helped coordinate over $70 million in funding from FEMA as reimbursements related to Hurricane Harvey. The EOC has been activated at some level since March 12th of 2020. We are activated and have been activated for over a year. And we continue, though, to manage operational and recovery efforts for COVID vaccinations, as well as Harvey, Imelda, and Laura recovery efforts, and of course, the freeze. One of the grants awarded last year will allow the build-out of the 3rd floor of the Emergency Operations Center to allow adequate space for training, exercises, and meetings, in addition to increased office space that can be multi-purposed as needed for incident management. That's where we sleep. Major storms that we prepared for over the past year was Delta, Marco, Laura, Beta, and of course the winter freeze, the winter storm. For the winter storm, the 311 call center, that was one of my first projects when I was elected in 2007 that I found from another mayor, the 311 call center. It was overwhelmed, though, by callers during the storm requesting help with water cutoffs. Calls received in one day were over that of a typical entire month. One day. The city provided electronic 311 app, 311 email, and damage reporting system crisis track links, which greatly aided residents in reporting leaks and logging cutoff assistance requests. Information was constantly streamed through social media platforms, public media sources, and the city website. Hurricane Laura, Sunday, August 23rd, this was our last, we had indication of potential impacts from Tropical Storm Marco, and then as Marco fizzled out, Hurricane Laura's forecast track had moved far enough west to cause concern for potential damage to this area. We estimate about 80% of the population remained despite a mandatory evacuation order that was called by myself and Judge Brannick. We phoned over 800 citizens registered in the Emergency Assistance Registry prior to evacuation. Of those, only 88 requested assistance evacuating. Additionally, we had about 830 citizens respond to assembly sites for evacuation. Fortunately, that operation was completed before the onset of tropical force winds. I also ordered a curfew from dusk to dawn at that time. We had one hurricane-related fatality on that Friday, which appears likely to be attributed to carbon monoxide poisoning from a generator. Never allow a generator inside your home, please. Of the 950 citizens evacuated by us from Beaumont in North Jefferson County, approximately 88 were medical related. Then, of course, COVID came. And don't need to say more about that, other than our abbreviated report that you see on your screen that began March 12th, 2020, and we ended at March 31st, 2021, so over a year. Beaumont Public Health Jurisdiction, which is our jurisdiction in Beaumont, includes, of course, Beaumont, China, Nome, Bevel Oaks, Hampshire, Thanet, and Cheek. Progression of COVID-19 updates and information, testing and vaccinations are shown. There's documents showing the final COVID-19 update after close to a year's worth of updates. We had a free mobile COVID-19 testing flyer that we did in August, and we are now able to vaccinate anyone that wants to be vaccinated. And if you haven't been, or you know someone that hasn't been, our Beaumont Public Health Department rocks in this area. Because they do. Vaccine.beaumonttexas.gov. Vaccine.beaumonttexas, written out, .gov is all you have to do. You'll go to a portal. It will ask you when you want to come. You make an appointment. You're in and out of there at the very most 45 minutes, usually 30 or less. They have it going on there. You get in and out. You get your shot. You get to go. So please, if you know anybody, we have plenty of vaccines. Register to get your vaccine. So we continue with COVID-19. We received approximately 10,000 COVID-19 reported positive cases from April of 20 to April of 21, as of yesterday, actually. We had 177 deaths. I know we all know somebody who passed away with COVID, and it's been a terrible disease. That's why I ask that you please get vaccinated. Let's protect ourselves and others. Beaumont Public Health Department continued to provide case investigations and contact tracing. Contact tracing is when you find out who the people have been involved with, and you call them and let them know they could have been exposed to COVID. They continued to provide guidance on isolation and quarantine, and continued education to the public via social media outlets and guidance to local health providers and institutions. The Public Health Department also has administered 36,459 doses from when we first received vaccines, which was on December 29th, through yesterday. And we have That comes out 1,900, 816 first doses and 16,643 second doses. And we are continuing this vaccination clinic. It is still underway, so please, if you haven't gone, go check it out. You'll love the building too. It's beautiful. You know, the council approved us to build this great building that has a huge second floor, and we had no idea at the time how much we actually would utilize it. So maybe we had a little something going in our favor there. Economic news. First, I'd like to publicly thank the Greater Beaumont Chamber of Commerce, and who's led by Bill Allen right in front of me here. Actually, the State of the City was never done before I was mayor, and this was Bill's idea. So thank you, Bill. We appreciate you. In 2020, ExxonMobil continued progress on its Beaumont refinery expansion project, which will expand light crude refining supported by production in the Permian Basin. The project consists of a third crude unit within the refinery's existing footprint and will increase production of diesel fuel at the refinery. The project will increase refining capacity by 65% and enhance the refinery's position as a leader in the United States. With access to terminals, railways, pipelines, and waterways nearby, the Beaumont refinery is strategically positioned to benefit from the Permian production growth. The project has had excellent performance to date and incredible support from the local community. To date, the expansion project team has completed more than 4 million safe work hours, received numerous safety awards, and no COVID-19 transmissions on the job site. We do have a short 1-minute video on how ExxonMobil used a 425-foot tall crane to lift this tower into its foundation. This lift took more than 2 hours to complete. Obviously, it didn't go that fast, and they didn't have that music, but it would have been cool if they had. To minimize community impact and reduce the number of construction trucks traveling through neighboring communities, ExxonMobil transported a significant amount of equipment and material via the Neches River to the Port of Beaumont. Through this month, the Port of Beaumont will have handled nearly 25,000 metric tons of cargo for the project. One example includes a near 300-foot tower which is the atmospheric fractionator, say that 10 times, tower weighing more than 2 million pounds. That's what you just saw. And of course, our beloved Port of Beaumont. We love them. We love y'all. Hey. Despite a global pandemic, the Port of Beaumont experienced another record year in 2020, with a 7.6% increase in tonnage and $11 million in completed infrastructure projects, in addition to a fiscally successful year. The port had a record-breaking year from a philanthropic standpoint, with participation in more than 45 community events. In 2021, the port is looking forward to working with BISD on the development of their new maritime program, and they hope to see this pathway adopted by other districts in the area. Number 1 strategic and outload port in the nation. Number 5 in the nation in terms of tonnage, which is total cargo volume. And number 4 on Global Trade Magazine's list of 50 power ports in the United States. Good job, Port of Beaumont. In 2020, the port launched several educational materials, including a new port coloring book. We need to teach our young people about the port because many of them may not know. Visit portofbeaumont.com to download a copy of that coloring book. $100 million in port infrastructure projects will be underway in 2021. In 2020, the Port of Beaumont did business with more than 200 companies in 39 countries. Good job again, Port of Beaumont. You can see more information about the port and the great job they're doing in Beaumont. Lamar University, another great partner. Lamar University had a record enrollment of 17,447 students online and on campus for the fall semester. They have been recognized for being a first-gen forward, emerging, Hispanic serving, and a disability-friendly university. The Center for Midstream Management and Science was formed. Lamar University recognized 4 alumni as distinguished: Larry Lawson, C.L. Ross, Elaine Schellenberger, and our own, very, very own, Beaumont Police Chief James Singletary. Chief Singletary is out of town today, but he told me he sure would like to be here, but he has a lot of his top cops here today in case y'all didn't see him. Give them away. The university is currently offering 32 certificate programs and more than 100 majors of study. They broke ground on a new Welcome Center that opened March 25th of 2021. 50 teachers completed the inaugural coding program in partnership with Apple, and a patent was awarded for wireless sensing and monitoring technologies on commercial and military aircrafts. We are very lucky to have Lamar University in our city, and I thank y'all so much. Another round of applause. Yay, Lamar. And of course, who is that in that picture? I see President over there. There he is. With 8,129 students, LIT enrollment has grown every fall, spring for the last 5 years, up to 60%. A new building will be named at LIT, which will be the ExxonMobil Petrochemical Advanced Technology Center. LIT was featured in the New York Times and Forbes magazine. LIT received its largest cash gift ever, $1 million from the Gale Foundation. LIT has a 90% job placement rate. Great job, LIT. Thank y'all. And our own, very own BISD is here today too. Thank y'all for your partnership. They are one-to-one technology. BISD is now a one-to-one technology district. 2,905 devices, and I'm assuming that means like iPads and computers, have been rolled out since August 2020. During the last 2 months, 15,905 devices were delivered to staff and students. It took nearly 2,000 man-hours to deploy the devices. Early college high school. BISD, in partnership with LIT, provides students an opportunity to receive up to 60 college hours at no cost to the families. Students may earn an associate in arts, business, biological science, criminal justice, process operating, or instrumentation. Students can also complete the core 42 courses. The class of 2020 had 31 out of 40 who received an associate degree. The class of 2021 will have 45 out of 63 who will receive an associate degree. College, career, military readiness, career and technical educations. BISD has extended career and technical education to include grades K through 8. A new career pathway is explored through the social studies curriculum every single month. The department also launched a college career and military readiness CCMR virtual fair in February 2021, which is available to view through June at www.bulbapp.com/CCMRV or virtual fair. And I'm sure they have that information for you if you Google it. Through the fair, students have the chance to explore different careers, such as what it takes to be a cybersecurity specialist, a welder, jobs in the medical field, and more. They got an understanding of colleges and universities like Lamar, Texas Tech, and Penn State. Students have also had the chance to research all branches of our military. BISD will offer a maritime program of study beginning in 2021-22 school year. This program will be offered at the Taylor Career Center and available for 11th and 12th grade students from Beaumont United High School and Westbrook High School. As students progress through the program of study, they will have the opportunity to earn industry-based certifications. They are also an athletic powerhouse. You probably know that Beaumont United boys basketball was UIL 5A state champion. We like our sports here in Southeast Texas. Also, Beaumont United girls basketball UIL 5A state semifinalists, and they're going to be the top girls next year. I just know it. Thank you to BISD for all that you have done in our community. As you can see, as I talk about LIT, Lamar, ExxonMobil, the port, BISD, there's a lot of common denominators there, and that's a great thing, because then we are able to educate our students and they can go out and get jobs right here in our city. Our city facilities. I'm going back a little bit of years here because I think it's important. Sometimes we don't even think about what all we have, and we have to be thankful for that. I certainly am. Municipal Tennis Center, 24 courts, including 4 covered courts, was privately managed, but the company asked that the city take back the facility. We are now managing that facility, and we have some times for free play. The Lakeside Center, which is right here on my left, beautiful, which was the Best Year Center on 4th Street, and it's now here right beside us. That's on the first floor. It's beautiful. If you haven't seen it, please go see. Second floor is a meeting banquet room that will seat 125, including the balcony. It's got a beautiful view of Town Lake. Fire Station number 1. They have the biggest kitchen I've ever seen. Was originally on College Street, and they make some good food there too, and is located right near Babe Zaharia's Park. I talked about the public health building on College Street and how instrumental it has been through this pandemic. Terrell Park. Do you see those coming soon? They are going to be great. They are funded by our hotel occupancy tax fund. So as I talk about entertainment and all there is to do in Beaumont, that all goes in line with what we can do when we have heads in beds, as they say in the industry. Terrell Park Visitor Center renovation project. It's underway now. It's 52% complete. The construction is estimated to be complete in July of this year. and its estimated cost is $1.5 million of hot tax funds. Terrell Park Community Center renovation is 6,400 square feet, and we will make that and you'll see why in a minute, into a birding center, among other things. We still have archery out there. We have horseback riding, as you saw. And I've got that, I've already given you that. So this is all funded by hot taxes. This is a rendition of the completed facility and how it will look overhead. If we had one of those police department drones out there, this is how it would look. Quality of life. We sometimes don't think about all the things that we have, our natural resources, our events, our entertainment, and certainly our diverse group of citizens. Beaumont is a B city, only 3 in Texas. Magnolia Garden Club, thank you, thank you, thank you. You don't realize until you read about it how important bees are to our livelihood and those of others. They did plantings that pollinate, and that's a community of volunteers and staff, and they built, now we run, the Wetlands Education Center, and I say they by the Magnolia Garden Club, and they raised almost $400,000 to build in partnership with the city, and now we will take it over. And these are just some beautiful photographs of what you can do at that beautiful boardwalk and the sunsets that you see. It's just amazing. Before I go off a little bit of that, if you haven't visited Cattail Marsh and the boardwalk, please do that, because you will be so surprised. Birding is such a big deal, and I'm going to go more into that in just a minute. And Bill talked about this a little bit at the beginning, but Beaumont Animal Care, Dr. Kelly Case, who helped me get to this point, along with Matt and his great people over at Beaumont Animal Care. We visited Waco, we visited Austin to see what they were doing, and we wanted to make our city no-kill. And you might not think about how important that is or what all goes into that, but you have to have a track, neuter, release for feral cats. You have to have a nonprofit that helps you to get grants so you can spay and neuter every animal. You're not going to keep them under control unless you do that. And just the TNR project, which is the neuter of the feral cats, spay or neuter of the feral cats. We usually have so many kittens in our shelter right now. You wouldn't believe it. It's really sad. We don't. We have a lot, but not like we used to. It's working, which is great. In the early 90s, we were putting down 700 animals a month. Now we're at a 92.87 release or adoption rate in some way or another. Very excited about that. We'll be remembered for many things in 2020, but the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about Beaumont Animal Care is that even through all the uncertainty that 2020 brought our way, the staff and community pulled together and more lives were saved than ever before Beaumont Animal Care rounded the year, which I'm talking 2020 right now, 92.57 or higher every month. And this accomplishment was not overnight, but in the animal sheltering world, we achieved no-kill status in record time. We had begun working towards this goal in 2019. After that first year, we achieved 87%, and now 1 year later, we have accomplished that mission and are still managing this status through the first quarter of 2021. And I want you to take special notice into that. I guess it would be your right, I think, I don't know. If you see Chief Singletary up there and Matt, there's a little blonde dog there, and his name is Bozzie. And you will never see Chief Singletary again without Bozzie, because he will be with him. And if y'all have seen him, he's walking around. He's in the EOCs everywhere. So Chief, Hallie, let Chief know I talked about Bozzie. Also let him know that I talked about Frankie. First dog, Frankie Ames, is also a rescue. Woohoo, and look how cute he is. And then, of course, they were so sweet this week to give me a Lifetime Achievement Award for this goal, and I hope that we can continue this, and I just know we will. I'm very proud to say that we achieved that goal, and y'all, it's all because of the staff, our volunteers. I mean, we have volunteers that drive to Canada and bring animals there. It's unbelievable. Anytime you want to talk to me about it, I don't have time today, but I will tell you all the different aspects of this. It's really fascinating. It's exciting to me. I hope it is to you too. This is Beaumont: architectural, industrial, nature, historical, art, restaurants, faith trails, active, and of course, dog friendly. Beaumont is so big on birding, and we're putting our money where our mouth is because birding brings in so many people to our city. Birding Boardwalk, you must go, as I said. Visitors from all over the world. There's a bald eagle out there. You very rarely will go out there and not see the bald eagle. I've seen it every time I've gone. And they did have babies. I think the babies are getting bigger now. And of course, you've seen the bus wrap. And the Cattail Marsh Wetland System, this is so fascinating to me. The Cattail Marsh Wetland System that's out there, where it is the final treatment unit in the city's water reclamation plant, wastewater treatment process train. This 650-acre wetland was originally constructed in 1992 to provide additional ammonia nitrogen removal from the water reclamation plant before being discharged into the Hildebrandt Bayou. The wetland consists of artificial and natural existing wetlands that occupies approximately 900 acres. Now, in addition to being a functioning utility, the wetlands has become an attractive habitat for birds and wildlife. I just think back in 1992, we were probably ahead of our time because this has developed in such a wonderful place for our citizens and visitors to enjoy, and birding is big. People that go birding spend their money in our hotels, in our restaurants, in our gas stations, everywhere that you can think. So welcome them when you see them because they're a big part of our economy. That's one of the reasons why the Terrell Park Visitor Center will have a birding center in it, because it's right on the way. And did y'all see the bicycles in the back? They wanted me to ride one in. Dean did. Dean, always trying to make me. Can you imagine the memes they would have made of me with that? I'm telling you. I did say it right, didn't I, memes? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, next month, Downtown Beaumont Bike Rentals, Convention and Visitors Bureau, Civic Center, and Event Center will be. You can see the map there. The bicycles are right back here. Please check them out. All 24 bikes are in and assembled. There will be 3 stations downtown for rentals: CVB, Civic Center, Event Center, and wayfinding is being finalized now, and we're going to create suggestions of routes for our visitors and for our citizens. So go ride a bike in downtown Beaumont. Beaumont Cajun Trail, we also have that brochure in the back if you want to look at it. We launched this April 17th. Already 200 people have signed up. Go sign up if you haven't. This is a fun way to encourage and reward dining out again after a tough year. Helps our restaurants too. They struggle a lot too. 20 stops on the trail around Southeast Texas, intentionally meant to encourage repeat visits and not complete it in one weekend. Targeting ads to drive market destinations to get visitors to explore our unique culinary scene. Available both digitally or as a printed passport booklet that will be available at the CVD, that is available at the CVB, with stickers to collect from the restaurants. This is going on all the time. This is not like Restaurant Week. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But this is going on all the time to encourage you to visit the diverse restaurants that we have in Beaumont. Arts and beautification, something else that's close to my heart. You might have seen when you walked in, because of all the art-related projects that we've done over the last few years, the U.S. Conference of Mayors, along with the Americans for the Arts National Award, I received last year, right before the pandemic, and it's there in the front if you want to look at it. Very proud of that. Downtown Beaumont Cultural Arts District was awarded the designation as a cultural district as designated by the Texas Commission on the Arts. This leads to marketing benefits and funding opportunities for us and our local artists. Again, money in our pockets. We were recently featured for our art, our murals in Texas Monthly. If you didn't see it, please pick up a copy. It was just this last month, I believe. Since projection inception, nearly a dozen have been added to help revitalize downtown, with 2 more in the works. That's those murals. 3 more murals to be completed within the next 6 months. And I'm sure our bike trails will look at all of those different things. We have 53 spots throughout the city that have fresh landscaping. It's just beautiful. Art boxes, 89 colorful murals bring life to the traffic boxes all over the city of Beaumont. What began as a small project to bring public art to traffic boxes in downtown and along Calder Avenue has grown to bring colorful boxes around Beaumont. Artist and Beaumont resident Darryl Troppy pitched the idea to former Councilwoman Virginia Jordan after seeing similar murals in other cities, and every single traffic box is painted by a local artist now. Entertainment, while the City Event Services Department was unable to host our incredible lineup of community events like Mardi Gras, Oktoberfest, Craft Beer Fest, and many, many more, we were able to offer a spectacular 4th of July fireworks display. We continued classic movie nights in the fall, as well as several small events around the beautiful Christmas tree by the lake, which included pet adoptions and holiday photos with a Beaumont fire truck. We are looking forward to all the upcoming events, especially Mardi Gras in 2022. We'll talk about Mardi Gras in just a moment. But you can see who said there's nothing to do here. Look at the wings and wheels fly in. That is such a cool event. Watch for that. We were going to have one recently, but the weather permitted that we had to cancel, but it will be rescheduled. There's just a lot to do. Restaurant Week, 50 plus restaurants participated, the most ever and the most diverse group ever, and it included a takeout option for 2021. Or it is going to. It is. This event was so successful, it was extended for all of March, with more than 30 choosing to continue participating. It's really helped our restaurant business, and we need to do everything we can to help them. They had a really tough year, too. That rolled into Black Restaurant Week, with 12 Beaumont area restaurants participating in Houston's campaign that garnered great press coverage all over the metro area. Uh-oh. I can't forget that. Art Taco, 3,500 people, beautiful day. Chamber of Commerce Day. Attended Beaumont's first art pop-up. The event grossed over $10,000, netting $6,000, with $3,000 each being donated to the Art Museum of Southeast Texas and the Fire Museum of Texas. Recorded visitation from Dallas, Austin, Lafayette, Woodlands, Houston, Conroe, Lake Charles, and other parts of Louisiana. We got amazing press coverage in the Houston area with articles in Culture Map, Paper City, Houston 365, and an Instagram takeover on the Visit Houston accounts that really drove this market interest. And we're going to have it again. And it was great. It was just March 6th. Mardi Gras will be. I got to know them so well. They are great people. February 24th through 27th of 2022. Catch the excitement in downtown Beaumont. Highlights from Mardi Gras Southeast Texas 2020, hosted in Beaumont. Look at the crowd. Look at the Clydesdale, but don't look at that redheaded woman at the top, because she doesn't look very good. But you can see how beautiful that it was with all the lights. It was so well attended. It was amazing. See you next year at Mardi Gras Southeast Texas in downtown Beaumont. Beautiful photograph. There's plenty of fun to be had in Beaumont. Here's how you can make sure you are not missing out. Websites, BeaumontTexas.gov, visit BeaumontTexas.com, BeaumontEventsTexas.com, mobile apps, social media. Look us up. Look at that beautiful photo of this beautiful event center. We have so much to be proud of. Let's toot our own horn more than we do. And to those naysayers, wherever they are, whether on social media or wherever, just tell them you don't want to hear it because we're doing great. And we're very, very proud of everything that we've done, and we will continue to be. The website, I just want to say one thing. I was talking to someone the other day that has been in our city for a long time, and she was asking me about where she could find something. Almost everything we do. It might not be as easy, we can make it easier, and we will, but you can see everything that we do. There's statistics. We don't make a decision without looking at statistics. So you can find all of that information on our website, and so I encourage you to do that. Or you can get the app. And I think that's the end. Thank y'all so much. Thanks to my husband Rodney for coming. Bill alluded to this, but I don't go a whole lot of places without him. And I'm going to tell you, it means a lot as mayor of the city if you have someone that supports you as much as I do to get everything done that we have to do, and that doesn't get terribly upset when I spend hours and hours and nights at the Emergency Operations Center. Thank you, Rodney. And you saw Frankie, you know, but he gets to go to the China Spa when I go over to the EOC. So anyway, thank y'all so much. Do we have time for this?
Yeah, we're gonna make it.
Okay.
So don't y'all leave right now.
Just so y'all know, I only went 5 minutes over.
That's right. You got to give me some liberties. This is the last time she's going to get a chance to do this. So sit in your seats. I've got a couple things to take care of here. We always ask our attendees for questions so that we can pose them to the mayor. Have a seat, please. I'm going to be right there. Plus, you could, after being up there. Yes, I know. We got a bunch. I brought 6, and I'm going to do 4. And I think you need to hear the answers to these questions. I'm going to stay up here so I don't mess up with the microphone. So, first one. First, thank you for your many years of service to our city. As outgoing mayor, what do you feel are the top 1 or 2 priorities for your successor, and why?
Wow. As I said, I've had the opportunity of serving as your mayor for 14 years, so there's a whole lot I could say. But I guess the main thing is to recognize our diversity, make sure that we cover every part of the city and get to know people in every part of the city. I do. I have huge success throughout the city, and I think that's important, and that's one of the reasons I've been your mayor for so long. Secondly, we run nonpartisan, and I'd encourage anyone to make sure you realize that. And we don't work across party lines because there's not any. So to remember that we represent all the people and to get to know every area of town and to get to know every person that you possibly can. And I think that you'll be successful. The other things will come.
Pay attention to this answer because this is important. What are 3 things community members, all of us, can do to move the city's efforts forward?
Well, I've talked about it a lot today. That one's fairly easy for me. Be proud of your city. Don't put down your city. Enjoy what we have. Tell people about it. Don't just know about it yourself, but tell people about it. And it was 3? Is that how many I got?
Yep, that's good enough. Yeah.
Okay, and then, of course, before you think something's not happening in your city, don't just fuss about it. Go look on the website. Ask someone. I mean, I've had so many people say, well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Like I said, I had someone that really should know this tell me the other day, how do I get to see what y'all talked about at council today? We not only have the video, but we also have the items and the packets that the council gets are online. And that takes a lot of effort by our staff. So please check it out. You'll be surprised.
Okay? How do you describe Beaumont to someone who's never visited our city?
Well, I just did, right? I think that we always say our slogan is kind of rich with opportunity, rich with all different types of things, and we truly are rich. And I think that our diversity, our food diversity that we have, I think that if you ride around and if you've been from Beaumont and you come back like now and you haven't been here for 10 plus years, you're going to see a huge difference. You know, I wish that we could do more. I said that earlier, but we have to always live within our means. And there's certain things that I wish we could have accomplished, and maybe we will in the future. But I really wanted to have some restaurants on the river, but we don't have the land to do it, and I wish that we had.
Okay, one last one. A little bit more personal. Now that you're going to have some extra time in your schedule, what's the one thing you're looking forward to the most?
Oh my gosh. Well, you know, some people don't realize this, but unless we're retired, we as council members have full-time jobs. And I'm going to do my job. I'm going to enjoy that. I work for GMJ and I love what I do. And so I'm going to spend time with that, but I'm also going to go to the beach quite a lot with my husband Rodney and my dog Frankie.
Very good. Mayor Ames, thank you. Thank you for being here today. More importantly, thank you for your service to the community. That is unparalleled. And while you're no longer going to be mayor soon, I just want to let you know I've got your cell number and I will not hesitate to call.
I think everyone in Beaumont has my cell number, and it hasn't changed in many years, and y'all are all welcome to it. I have no problem with that. The staff knows that.
Well, we have a couple things, token of our appreciation for being here today. One, probably you're going to determine what this is, because I know you will like this.
Oh gosh, this is bottom line.
I wasn't going to give that away. But I know you'll like this. This, I think you need to have from us. It's a congratulatory plaque.
Okay, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you, and thank y'all. I have so, let me just say one thing.
It was heavy, wasn't it?
I have so enjoyed being your mayor. I'll be here for a little bit longer. Not sure whether there's a runoff or not. It'll be either be May 11th or June 29th. So you might see me a little longer, or you might see me about 6 weeks longer. So, but I'll still be doing my job. Don't worry. Thank you.
Thank you. Couple of closing items for you. On your tables, you see these little postcards with QR codes. I was going to ask you to do them right now, but I know we're running a little behind, so I won't. But take them with you. One of them, on one side, the QR code is going to take you to a survey about this luncheon. I know we're late, so you don't have to tell me that one. But I want to know what you think, because it's really important for us to put on quality events. We need your feedback. On the other side, our next big luncheon is a legislative update luncheon where we're going to invite all of our state elected officials to come in and talk about the session and also how the session worked with our legislative agenda items coming out of the Golden Triangle. So please take those with you. I think that's really important. If you recall, February of last year, when we did this, we talked about starting a new program called Beaumont Champions. And it goes right into a lot of what you said, but then COVID hit, everything stopped. Well, I'm really proud to announce that it is going to take place this year. It's going to start June 7th. Kyle, thanks very much for your support, and I know a lot of the other city folks are going to be helping us out, but it's an opportunity really to highlight the positives. You talked a couple times about folks that post and post negatively. We're going to try to add some positives to this whole mix.
All right.
So we're looking forward to that. It'll only be a 5-week session. I'm going to buy you dinner if you come, each night on a Monday. So you'll see more information about that next week, actually. I also want to thank our sponsors one more time. Thank you all very much for your support. We couldn't do this without you, obviously. In addition, I want to thank Carrabba's. They provided lunch, the event center staff for helping us out, and then also Gulf Coast Audio and North Star Music. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for your attendance. Have a great rest of your day.
And thank y'all so much. I appreciate you. And thanks to the city staff. I couldn't do it without y'all. I know I said that earlier, but I can't. I've got to say it now when everybody's getting up, otherwise I might cry. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.